feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG. And we are back with a flood of calamity-induced Bloomburrow spoilers. So first up is Dawn's Truth. For a white and white instant that reads, you can gift a card. You and permanents you control gain hexproof till end of turn. If the gift was promised, permanents you control also gain indestructible till end of turn. So, hoo-ha, that's incredibly powerful. So, hoo-ha. Next up we have Downwind Ambusher. This card is more powerful than you think. So, for a black and 3, you get a 4/2 Skunk Assassin with Flash. When Downwind Ambusher enters, choose one. Target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1 till end of turn. Or destroy target creature an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. This card, when paired with Maha, its Feathers Knight, can be absolutely crazy, especially if you're using some of the bounce and blink mechanics that we see in this set. Hoo-ha! Next up we have Star Charter. Which is a white and 3 for a 3/1 Bat Cleric with flying. Beginning of your end step, if you gain if you gained or lost life this turn, top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with power 3 or less from among them, put it into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Well, hoo-ha. That's pretty powerful. Then we have Stargaze, another card that's associated with the Bat Folk. 2 black and X for source it reads, look at twice X cards from the top of your library, put X cards from among them into your hand, and the rest in your graveyard, and you lose X life. So you look at twice the number of X cards, you lose X life, and you get X cards get half of what you look at into your hand. Some definite card draw advantage there. Hoo-ha. We have Byway Barterer. So, a red and 2 for a 3/3 Raccoon Rogue with Menace. Whenever you expend 4, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. Trash Panda's doing Trash Panda stuff. Then we have Persistent Marshstalker. So a black and 1 for a 3/1 Rat Berserker. When Persistent Marshstalker gets +1/+0 for each other rat you control. Ew. Has a threshold, so when you attack with 1 or more other rats, there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard. You can pay a black and 2 to do Persistent Marshstalker. Return Persistent Marshstalker from your graveyard to the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Yo, in a rat deck, this guy is a menace. And he's only uncommon. So when he's alive, he gets +1/+0 for each other rat you control. And when you attack with Wrath while he's in the graveyard, you can pay a black and 2 to bring him back tapped and attacking. This guy just doesn't go away. And he gets bigger. So if you're attacking with just one other Wrath, he comes back from the graveyard for as a 4/1. And that's not even considering any other Wrath you control. This guy is a menace. Whoopsies. So, Long River Lurker. A blue and 2 for a 2/3 for Frog Scout. Other frogs you control have Ward 1. When Long River Lurker enters, target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Whenever that creature deals combat damage this turn, you may exile it. If you do, return to the battlefield under its owner's control. So you can use ETB effects. It's just a blinking a card if it deals combat damage. And it's likely to deal combat damage because it's unblockable. Hoo-haw. So next up, we have Huskburster Storm. Or Huskburster Swarm. So it's a beefy black and 7 for a 6/6 elemental insect. It costs 1 generic less to cast for each creature card you own in exile and in your graveyard. It has Menace and Death Touch. So this thing could be a big bad for your squirrel deck, because your squirrel deck is all about foraging. So you're putting cards in an exile, you have cards in your graveyard, you've got food tokens, so hoo-ha. Next up we have Harnesser of Storms. A red and 2 for a 1/4 Otter Wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature or Otter spell, you exile the top card of your library until the end of turn. You may play that card. This ability triggers only once each turn. A little something for your Spellslinger prowess deck. Then we have Drift Gloom Coyote. Hoo-ha. He's a fairly beefy 2 white and 3. He's a 3/4 elemental coyote. When it enters, target creature and opponent controls. Exile target creature and opponent controls until Drift Gloom Coyote leaves the battlefield. That creature had power 2 or less, put a +1/+1 counter on Drift Gloom. So this guy chasing after little creatures, he gets a little bigger, and he does an imprison effect. Not bad. Certainly an interesting card in Limited. Next up we have Bark Knuckle Boxer. So a green and 1 for a 3/2 Raccoon Berserker. Whenever you expend 4, Bark Knuckle Boxer is indestructible till end of turn. Well, the Raccoon deck is all about using the expend mechanic and creating mana. So yeah, you got stuff. This guy's kind of indestructible. Next up is another crazy white card. This is Starfall Invocation. So for 2 white and 3, you got a sorcery that reads, gift a card. Destroy all creatures. If the gift was promised, return a creature card from put it to your graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. And squeeze me? This is a white blood on the snow without having to worry about how much snow mana. You're gifting a card. This is going to be white removal all day long. So, hoo-ha for that. We have Moonstone Harbinger. For black and 2, you get a 1/3 Bat Warrior, flying and death touch. Whenever you gain or lose life during your turn, bats you control get +1/+0. You gain death touch till end of turn. This ability triggers it only once each turn. There's all sorts of ways to use that effect. So, hoo-ha. And then we have Coruscation Mage, which is a red and 1 for a 2/2 Otter Wizard with Offspring 2. So if you pay the extra 2 mana, you get a 1/1 token copy of this creature. If you cast a non-creature spell, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Next up, we have another really powerful season card in Season of the Burrow. 2 white and 3 for a sorcerer that reads. Choose up to 5 paw prints of modes. May choose the same mode more than once. 1 paw print, create a 1/1 white private creature token. 2 paw prints, exile target non-land permanent. Its controller draws a card. 3 paw prints, return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it. What? Yeah. That's gotta be nasty. Next up, we have Mockingbird. This is another crazy blue card. A blue mana and X for a 1/1 bird bard, I would guess? I don't know. My Italian is not anywhere good. Has flying. You can have Mockingbird enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield with mana value equal to or less than mana spent to cast Mockingbird, except it's a bird in addition to its other types and has flying. So this is like a copy spell, but it's not like a shapeshifter. Hoo-ha. I still don't know what this is because, like I said, my Italian doesn't translate very well. But it's a blue and 1 for a sorcery that reads: create a 1/1 blue and red otter creature token with prowess. If this spell was cast from someone other than your hand, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. has flashback for a blue and 3. So again, that's why if you use the flashback, it's a 2/2. So we got Splash Portal, single blue mana for a sorcery that reads, exile target creature you control, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. If that creature was a bird, a frog, otter, or rat, draw a card. So you just sit there and you just bounce your creature. More blink effects. In blue, we have Hearthborn Battler. For a red and 2, you get a 2/3 Lizard Warlock with haste. And whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, Hearthborn Battler deals 2 damage to target opponent. Hoo-haw. So next up we have Bandit's Talent. So a black and 1 for an enchantment class. Level 1 is when Bandit's Talent enters, each opponent discards 2 cards unless they discard a non-land card. Pay a black to go to level 2 at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. That player has 1 or few cards in hand. They lose 2 life. And for a black and 3, you get level 3 at the beginning of your draw step. Draw and discard card for each opponent that has 1 or fewer cards in hand. Well, this fits in like a duress discard deck. Next up, we have another crazy rat card in Wick the World Mind. So for a black and 3, you get a 2/4 legendary rat warlock. Whenever Wick or another rat you control enters, create a 1/1 black snail creature token if you don't control a snail. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on a snail you control. Pay Grixis, which is blue, black, red, and sacrifice the snail. Wick deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to each opponent. Then draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. So hoo-ha. This thing, if we were still in the same standard set as we have now, with Toxtrol would be insanity. It'd just be absolutely out of pocket. And finally, for this video, we got Paw Patch Formation. Stupid ads. So it's in the cycle of formation cards. We already saw Finch Formation. A green and 1 for instant reach. Choose 1. Destroy target creature with flying. Destroy target enchantment. Or draw a card and create a food token. Hoo-ha. All very useful things to do. So, that's going to be it for this video. Hoo-ha. We'll see you on the next video.